All right, the Nigerian Stock Exchange earlier this week launched its e-filing portal, X-Filing. X-Issuer is a fully integrated, secured web interface designed to enable the submission and processing of securities listing applications online. Well, the Executive Director Regulation at the NSE, Tinuade Awe, joins us now to speak more about this. Thank you very much, Mr. Awe, for joining us today. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good
well,
morning.
In a world of increasing digital interactions, the Nigerian Stock Exchange continues to respond to stakeholders' needs with new products and services. What is the driving force behind the NSE strategy, particularly from a regulatory point of view?
Thank you very much for that question, and thank you for having me on the program. Well, I think if you go to our mission, you would see the reason for this strategy. Our mission, and I'm paraphrasing it, is to be an exchange hub in Africa that is reliable, it's efficient, and it's adaptable in order to ensure that investors and others can save and access capital. And one of the best ways to ensure that you can meet these three objectives of reliability, adaptability, and efficiency is to actually use technology as an operational matter, not just as a back office issue, but to include technology within your operations. And that's what we've done with all what we've been doing, but particularly with X-Filing, that's what we've done. We basically have an online secure interface that allows our dealing members and other accredited users to submit securities applications, but also all through the process when we have those applications and we're considering them, to be able to engage with us online, so they can look on the system to see how far we've gone with the application, how it's moved, and also to engage with us with any deficiencies or other questions that we have. It's just a much more efficient way to do business operationally, and it's a much more reliable way in that things like when did you submit your application? There's a timestamp that will show when your application was submitted. When was your application approved? There's a timestamp. So there are no disputes about basic things, and you can just get on with the operational issues using technology. And I think during this pandemic in particular, than no other time, it's become obvious that we all have to embed technology in what we do. And so, we're here yet again, as we've done in the past, with another regulatory piece of technology to enhance the work that we do from an operational perspective.
A recent upgrade to the issuer's portal, X-Issuer, NSE has announced the launch of an e-filing portal, that's X-Filing. Tell us what X-Filing has been designed to do.
Okay, so X-Filing is actually designed to be an interface between us and our dealing members and accredited users who submit applications to the exchange. So if a company wants to list, for example, that company will engage a number of advisors, including our dealing members, to bring the application for listing purposes before the exchange. What X-Filing allows us to do now is to make that interaction between us and the applicant completely technology-driven, completely online, and completely seamless, and therefore more efficient and more reliable. What are some of the features of X-Filing, as you've asked me? Some of them are, for example, obviously the application process is now completely virtual. Then the interaction process is also virtual. So if we review your application and there's a deficiency, we send you the deficiency through this system as well. And you can interact with us back and forth through the system. So it's more efficient, it's more reliable, it's faster, and it also allows you to be able to do reports. So a dealing member, for example, or other accredited user can, in January, maybe hasn't submitted any applications. In December, can do a query of the system and realize, okay, get a report that says, I submitted 12 applications, 2 of them were for IPOs, one of them was for a share reconstruction, and so on and so forth. So it allows there to be more information available for the users of our services, as well as a better opportunity for us to interact with them. So it's a really cool system, actually. And given that I'm a lawyer, saying that a technology system is cool is actually, I think, something that is really great. And we're very excited about the opportunity to use this system and the efficiencies and the advantages that it will bring for our clients who file applications before us.
Expectations for its overall impact on the capital market?
Well, as with anything that brings about efficiency and adaptability, I guess the first expectation is that it will make the process of listing for users of our services a much easier process, a less stressful process. So when technology works and it works well, it works in terms of providing ease, and so we expect that the users of our services will have greater ease in engaging with us. It will be more efficient because that back and forth, that happens through the system is faster. Results will get out faster to people, and people will be able to query the system and understand where things are with their applications. So for us, we think that the efficiency that brings is really something. And that ties into some of the other efficiencies that we've tried to bring into the listings process before. As you know, about 2 years ago, we engaged with the Securities and Exchange Commission in order to streamline the listings process so that it is more seamless and more efficient, and we removed certain duplications. So this ties into that whole efficiency, ease, adaptability for our clients. And it goes to one of the key values that we have as an organization, which is customer centricity. How are your customers using your services? Are they using our services more efficient? Are they easier to use? And this all ties into that. So we think for the market, if things are easier to use, if they're more efficient, it's again, it presents the market itself as a viable alternative for saving, as a viable alternative for accessing capital, which goes to the root of our mission, as I discussed it at the beginning of the interview.
To strive for all-round increased efficiency in terms of competitive pricing, structures, improved turnaround time, and enhanced customer experience. What other avenues are you looking to explore in this regard to boost listing activities across asset classes?
Okay, so I've talked about the engagement that we had with the SEC, which led to lower turnaround time and, removed duplication between ourselves and the SEC within the listings process. And we've had a lot of feedback from users of our services about how that has shortened timelines. I think another thing that we've looked at that has been very, very important is looking at our boards. So a couple of months ago, at the beginning of 2020, we launched the Growth Board. And that was, again, listening to the users of our services, saying, can we have a little bit more nuance around your boards? As you know, we have a main board, and then we have a premium board, and now we have a growth board. And the requirements for the growth board, the application requirements for the growth board, are fine-tuned to something that will allow companies in the growth range of their life journey as a company. Companies have different different stages in their life journey. For those of them that are in the growth phase, something that is amenable to them, and that these are conditions that they can meet. So we did a growth board that was fit for purpose for those kinds of companies. That's another thing that we did to try and encourage, people to look at the capital markets as a viable opportunity to raise money. Come to the growth board if you feel that that is the stage that you are, as opposed to trying to fit yourself into the requirements of the main board, which you may not be able to meet, or even the premium board, which clearly you may not be able to meet if you are in the growth phase. So that was targeted. The engagement with the SEC was also targeted. We're also looking at things like the kinds of products that are available. So as you know, we're working on exchange traded derivatives, and we expect very firmly that we will launch that market this year. There's been a lot of work that has been done in that space. There's a CCP that we have, which is essential for a derivatives market to actually work. So we have a CCP that we've created with a number of other entities within the financial services sector. And that will ensure that we have a thriving exchange-traded derivatives market that is appropriately risk managed and appropriate for the economy. We're also looking at corporate governance. We have a corporate governance rating system, but we've taken very, very seriously our role under the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance that says that stock exchanges are supposed to do the monitoring in addition to other regulators. So we're very, very closely working with the FRC's code, as well as the SEC guidelines that the SEC issued with respect to corporate governance, to align with that code to ensure that there is appropriate corporate governance in the market. So these are some of the things that we're doing from a regulatory perspective. There's a lot of work also happening on the business side to make ourselves more competitive. A lot of stuff happening with operational resilience. As you know, we went into remote working, continued to work, kept the market open, and it is open until today. We've not had one day where the market did not trade, despite the pandemic and despite the fact that the exchange staff themselves were working remotely. But we kept the market open, and we have shown that resilience. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Tinua Awe, for joining us on the program. It's a pleasure having you. Enjoy the rest of the day.